My research area is sacred music in Baroque Venice. I research archival documents for mentions of musicians. Turns out in Baroque Venice, people get each other gigs. They know each other from this one gig and then they collaborate on another project. So kind of seeing how people were able to make a career out of being a professional musician. I do a lot of teaching on music in different religious contexts, and there's so much we can learn about a music based on its religious function. I like to say it's less about the history of music and more the history through music. So what can we learn about a people and a place and a culture by studying their music and how they made it? So I have a lot of toys around here. I have a couple of composer action figures. Bach was a composer from the 1700s. I think my brother got that for me, and it's clearly supposed to be ironic. I have a Chinese New Year decoration that came from a student from Taiwan. I have this really cool metal sculpture on top of the piano that came from a student in Bangladesh. These two specific students were international students, and I love that they wanted to share part of their culture with me. So the current textbook that I'm using for one of my surveys is in its 10th edition. And I have the first edition because it was my mom's when she was a music major in college, and she paid $7.75 for it. I like to talk a lot about historical narratives and how we can remain critical of them. It was published in 1960, and just this very morning I showed it to my class, being like, look at all the different ways people have thought about music and art in previous generations. When I started here, my oldest was 4 months old. Now he's 7 and has a 3-year-old sister. So like the size of my family reflects my career at Wabash, which is kind of fun to see. I love music, I love history, I love teaching. It came together nicely.